How's it going? I'm Brenden Robertson. My trade name is BERA. I've been an audio engineer since the early 2000s. Right now, we're going to go through one of my clients that is a house of worship. They're a Baptist church. They have a Waves LV1 Classic console, and I do services there on Sundays. They got kind of in deep water when they upgraded to this console without an engineer, so I got called in, and I'm going to go through a rapid progression of where I've kind of like started and where it took things with them, so that they weren't like also experiencing like a huge jolt in like how different things are if I were since I came in to run what they had. So let's get into it. We'll jump straight into the LV1 mixer. And in this first window, we're going to see an overview of their mixer setup. As you can see, you got drums over in the first group of channels. Fine, that's great. And then we've got some keys, and these are just their inputs. So the way that I set up things with them was I changed a bunch of their bus structure, but I wanted to do everything so that like I was kind of like very stealth about my changes. So I didn't really change their input layout any much more. I mean, I cleaned it up with some labels and stuff, and we'll see. But right here, you can just see this their inputs. And then you go down here, they're not running any groups in the group section, and their aux effects section, they've got one like effects thing going on here, and in their monitor section, they've got 4 mixes active in their monitors. In their matrix section, they're using 1 matrix, and in their link section, they've got something linked, and we don't know what's going on. Their main section, their LR is the only thing active in this section, and there's their Q. What else to notice about this? I think we'll just do the overview with that one, and we'll jump into another setup here, which if we go to Easter show, load, check out Easter check, recall that scene. Now we're working in that scene. I want to check the rack. Okay, so I didn't, one of the things I didn't change at first with the inputs was their processing. And what I noticed was a lot of the native processing setup for the LV1 had been removed off of like basically every active channel, and it was a custom processing chain with whatever plugins they wanted to use. And I tend not to work with like that. I mean, like waves are great and all. I love being able to put waves on a desk live, but I really like the starting point of factory channel strips. I don't, if I'm gonna, I rarely would I take away a factory channel strip off of anything and then put whatever other arrangement of processors on it. So that was why I brought this up. So like we've got like CLA 76, C1 gates, and what we should see is in inserts 1, 2, and 3, we should see the factory plugin layout, which is the F2 for the filters, and then there's an LV1 EQ, and then there's a LV1 dynamics processor. So we'll check that out on another scene as well. So let's just go to show and go into sessions, and we'll go to my most recent one, and I'll give you a whole tour of this, and we'll break down my decision making on that. So we'll load that, don't need to save. We'll do the session IO. Once the session's loaded, we'll bounce over to the scene and go down to the scene that we want. So August 17th should work great. This one's already live. We'll start with the late overhead. Let's do we'll go overview, okay? So again, I didn't change their input layout. I wanted it to stay the same. It would just be more work for me and everyone else. But what I did do is make sure that like some of the labels and stuff are cleaned up. So we've got the drums. Then we've got keys and bass. There's actually not a bass player in this band. There's not an electric guitar player in this band. But we're doing keys, and we've got two guitar channels. We've got a acoustic piano channel. Over here, we've got a guest vocal channel, which is sometimes flip-flopped from my MD's, like discrete MD talkback mic. If he's got a guest vocalist, he'll let them use that, and he won't MD. We've got a headset mic that's for the other service. And then we've got three wireless channels and one wired vocal channel and then a pastor mic. So all of that stuff exists on the top layer of 32. Basically all of my inputs are on the stage. The next input is a computer, and then we don't use anything else on here. I have a couple of vocal mults standing by for in-ears if somebody wants to hear their discrete vocal channel with like something like a high pass or auto tune. I have it set up and stand by, but they don't use it, and I'm fine with that. No sweat off my back. All right, groups. Now, I break off my groups on basically every console. I'll break off a drum group, a instrument group, and a vocal group. On this desk, they're all three stereo, and they are parallel mix groups. Next, I have my drum reverb, my instrument reverb, and then my vocal effects, which are a combination of delay into reverb. So, and then my busing for these usually passes into my groups as well, so that my vocal effects are a part of my vocal group, and my instrument effects are a part of my vocal group, or part of my instrument group, and my drum effects are part of my drum group, mix group. After that, we've got the aux monitor section, and for this setup, we have done, let's see, it's 6 in-ear mixes and 2 wedge mixes to follow. At the end of my aux section, I've got in 15, I've got like an all pass mix for recording stuff. This is a post fader mix that is all the inputs from the stage and perhaps reverb channel, but usually not. But yeah, it's just my inputs. It's my all pass for my inputs into a recording bus. And I don't take the recording bus per se. The recording bus travels beyond the recording bus into an actual recording matrix from there. Also, I've got a subwoofer LFE mix. This is a mono aux mix in 16 for my sub send. So everything from here. So you've got inputs, groups, effects, monitors, and a couple of aux mixes. Moving on from there, we've got the matrix section. And in my matrix section, I've got a live stream and a main PA. Now, the live stream, the matrix mixing on this desk is incredible. If I select my live stream matrix and open up channel, I get this awesome like mixer, I've got 12 faders here. So anything that's part of my matrix input list gets its own fader here, and it allows me to balance the live stream from the main room sound. Starting with, here's in one, channel one on this matrix is my recording all pass. It's all my inputs from the stage. Then I get my 3 groups, which have some reverb on them, or effects on them. Then I have one dedicated for my pastor mic. I don't need any LFE going to my. I don't need the LFE traveling to my live stream, but I did add it in there as so it's accessible, but there's no reason for it to go there. And then my left right is also accessible, but there's no reason for it to go there because I'm actually building a mix into my matrix for the broadcast. In addition, if I need more effects, I've also got all the effects tangible. Also, because I don't have just one pastor mic, I've also got a second pastor mic and a headset mic. So yeah, that's what the matrix looks like. I couldn't be happier with this setup. Like this is what every mixer should do for a matrix. Just give me 12 fader paths for each matrix. That's amazing. What a 12 channel mixer inside each matrix. It's bonkers. I love that. All right, headed back. Then let's go to the link section. In the link section, we've got the labels are scrunched up here, right? So let's do we get to see them? Anyway, we can see them at the top corner. We don't get to see any information in the main window, which is fun. But anyway, DCA for drums, DCA bass, DCA keys, DCA acoustic guitars, DCA vocals, DCA pastor and headset, DCA effects return, DCA groups level, and DCA tunes. And that's it for my DCAs. Okay. So, and then in this main section, we've got our left-right bus. We've got our center bus, which I'm not using. And then we've got our subwoofer LFE bus, which was like the regular mono bus. The reason I didn't use the center bus is because I have two of these. So instead of like on an X32, you get the center / mono bus. Now, I left the center empty in case we have a opportunity to use a center cluster speaker in the center. So true center allocation for that. We'll see if we get there eventually. And then we've got our subwoofer LFE channel in the mono bus section. So what's happening here is we're creating a aux mix for the low end, just like any other send level and discrete aux path. And we're actually, that comes out of an aux master and then returns into the main PA matrix to sum into the PA, because the PA is all wired stereo. So you can see right here, if I click on main PA matrix, you can see that I'm summing the LFE return with the LR mix bus, and then that's going out its own matrix in stereo to sum it all up. Now, let's take a look at my custom page. So to run a service, it's not a super complicated queue changing service for this one. I just set up a custom layer so that I can do everything on the first layer. So if I'm not looking at Mixer 2 with the all page, I'm hopefully just on Mixer 1 on the custom page. So we've got my drums, my keys, and my guitars on DCAs, and then I have all of my vocals broken out here. So 5 vocal channels broken out. And then I've got a DC effects return for all of the effects, and then I have my vocal effects in addition, which this is my send level of my vocal effects. So this lets me just mute it whenever the pastor starts talking and there's still music going. I don't want to mute the instrument effects, and I really don't want to mute the vocal effects at all, but just so that there isn't actually any bleed happening on the talking vocal that would be captured and echo any of the speech rather than the singing. I just kill the vocal effects altogether while that talking is going on. And then after that, I've got my matrices, so I can see so I can select my live stream matrix, select my main PA matrix, check out my LFE, that kind of thing. We can go under the hood a little bit here, so we'll get rid of the custom layer. Check out channel 1. Now, so what I did on the input racks was I wanted to make my mix sound normal and good and operate normally under stock plugins. I didn't want all the craziest stuff in place of the stock stuff. We can't see we can't click the stock stuff on the editor, but you can see that I have the F2, which is the onboard native filter. You get high pass and low pass. I've got the Q4, which is the native EQ, and the D5, which is a fantastic compressor. It's not just compression, it's all dynamics in one plugin. It's amazing. So I just loaded it up stock with everything. I didn't strip off everything I wasn't using. I did strip off a lot, but there's still channels available that already have the stock lineup of plugins on them. So it's not too slow to get in there and like copy a channel and bring it up and have a couple of presets for filters, EQ, and dynamics. I like it much better that way. So like here's a section, like I didn't strip any of these out of 49 through 64. They're still there, but even running all of these unnecessary plugins on unused channels, I'm only running the DSP on board of the LV1 by like 41%. So it's fine. It doesn't skip. It's good. It's got plenty to go. Let's see. So what should we do? Check out routing. Let's check out routing. And we'll work our way backwards from the routing. So main PA, well, it's not, there we go. Main PA, we showed how this summed. And then, so the routing for this is done out here, the line level. Now it's summed here, so you can see on left, right, and my mono sub LFE, you can see where I select matrix 1 and 2, matrix 1 and 2. Matrix 1 is my live stream. I don't have it dialed up. No left, right, no sub sends are dialed into that currently. But like if everything went wrong and people just couldn't mix it or pay attention to any of the details of mixing it, we could flip it over into just getting the main PA mix, right? All right, so moving backwards in routing. All right, so from going into our left-right mix, we have things like groups. So you can see the groups are going to the left-right mix here. The drums are not, because the drums are just too loud. So we just pulled them out of the left-right, but they still go through the mixing, and we can hear them in like the room's too washy to hear drum reverb coming from the mixer. The drums are hit too loud and bleed too much and everything to like really hear the drums. What we do get in the speakers is we get the drum mixes, the drum the low end mixes are going they're mixed. The drums are mixed into the subwoofer, and the drum group is not mixed in the subwoofer. So just like the kick drum and the toms are hitting the low frequency LFE. The instruments and the vocals are going to the left right bus, and they're going to matrix 1 for the broadcast. Their effects, so let's say like vocal effects, are going to matrix 1 for the live stream, and they're going to group 3. So right here they're splitting off into 2 independent paths, and they're doubling up by the time they get in back into the matrix mix, but that's just so I can like put a little bit more reverb on everything than what I would have in the house. The house is super washy. Like I want more when I want more. Don't we all? Moving backwards from there, you can see like my vocals. So I've got my passer mic just going straight up to matrix 1 and the left right. So that's matrix 1 is the live stream, and my left right is traveling to my left right bus, and then my left right bus travels into matrix 2. And then my vocals for my singers are routed into group 3 and going to the left right bus. So group 3 is my vocal group. And my keep going. So we move on to some instruments now. So acoustic guitars, keyboards, basses, that stuff is going to go into group 2 and my left right. So group 2 is my instrument group running in parallel. And then finally I've got my drum bank, and my drums are going to group 1, which is my drums group, and I pulled them all out of the left right. But if you go to this LFE level, you can see where I'm sending the drums into the sub independently. You can also see where I'm sending the keys and the guitar into the sub. Remember, we don't have a bass player, so I'm putting a lot into the sub. Is there anything else going in the sub that shouldn't? No. So no groups going in the sub, no reverbs going into the sub. Monitors. I just love the way that the LV1 navigates. I can see like all these effects and monitor levels all at once. It's brilliant. Love it. What else should we cover in the LV1? User keys. I've got my tempo tap, clear solo, skip one. Got record start, record stop. Number 13 jumps into my live stream. Where were we? And then 14 jumps onto my main PA channel. Like this is mainly so like when I select this and go to channel, and then I go to my graphic EQ, which you can't see because it's disabled in the editor. What other user buttons do we have? So we've also got the LFE and then the custom fader level. Custom fader level. I just want to clean this up for a second just so we see. So back to the custom fader level. Just helps me run the whole show on one layer. Pretty nice. I think that doesn't. That I mean, that's about it. The recording enabled channels on this are gonna be. I record the live stream mix, and then I record the groups so that I get stems. So I'll get like a stem of the all pass recording mix. I get a stem of the drums, a stem of the instruments, and a stem of the vocals. And then, and of course, those stems get their effects recorded with them, and then all that. Um, the live stream is all of that summed together, which I record as a 2-track as well. So that about does it on this one. Let's see. So if you like, you can go to bearsolutions.com and you can actually download this show file. I have some other tools on there that are free to help you elevate your live sound game or studio game, any audio game at all. Just check it out. Thanks for watching. Give me a like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Please. Just help me out. BERA You can actually find other mix files on there as well. And we'll keep them coming. So thanks for watching. Have a good one.